Hello. I am back. I know it's been a minute. I know. But to be honest, fucking with me, you probably gonna get that a lot. Because I am a person who I would admit that undiagnosed ADHD. My attention span is very short. It's a struggle being a person that has a short attention span, and then also is a person who's interested in doing a lot. I'm just interested in a lot of shit, So when I am into something, I'm into it. But I'm trying to figure out how to build a consistent enough schedule for me that I can be into multiple things at one time. That is something that I'm trying to create for myself, trying to learn for myself. I'm just, in the process of learning a whole lot of shit, learning and unlearning a whole lot of shit. So bear with me. I am working to not go a month without posting some shit again. Like that, you have my word that it will definitely not be a month, maybe a week or two, but definitely not a month. I got my coffee with my favorite cup. I don't think you know this yet, but I absolutely love sunflowers. They are a significant part of my life, significant part of who I am. Yeah. So I'm happy to be back. I'm pretty sure by now you've seen proof that I have a podcast. I told you I had a podcast. But if you have not checked out that episode yet, please do so. I do appreciate it. This episode, I'm just going to run it with you a little bit if you don't mind. I had this realization, but I was trying to say recollection. This download, if I have you, I know that's a word that people normally use nowadays, and I have them pretty often, and I just write. But see, because I have so much content that I could put out, but the thing with me is actually sitting down and actually recording that shit. Because in my mind, it has to be a whole setup. I have to make sure I have the time. I have to make sure, I just have to make sure I'm a real structured person. I'm a planner. So trying to do things that are not planned is also another struggle for me that I'm working on. So yeah. One thing that has come up for me in these last however many weeks, I think it was last week actually when this came up for me, is the simple question of what's important to you. And as that lingered in my space for a little while, I started to think about what someone thinking about or paying attention to what's important in them, what that allows themselves to realize about themselves. The discovery of the influence of understanding what's important to you will influence a deeper understanding of why you're starting something, why you're setting specific goals, why you're not happy in specific settings with people, in relationships, friendships, etc. It will allow you to know a little bit more about what you're interested in, what interests you, what drives you, what adds value to you, what makes you unique, what keeps you going, and what simply alludes to your... Why did I sip in the middle of that? Simply what alludes to your gift, your talent, just what makes you you. But I think a lot of people caught up in the lifestyle of feeding into other people's images of them or caring about what other people think more than what they actually value or what's actually important to them. Sometimes we put other people's thoughts, opinions, wants, needs, whatever's in front of our own. And I think somehow our own personal identity and our own personal importance gets put to the back burner, and then somehow we get lost in it, and then we forget what that even means for us, So I think it's time to tap into that. I think it's time to tap more into that, and especially I'm having this conversation going into another year. I think 2023 is a good time to focus more into what is feeding you, what is important to you, what's adding value to you, what makes you who you are, and using that as a tool, as a forefront of the work that you do, the way you show up in certain spaces, tapping into the things that make you happy. Because in this process of exposing more of what's important to you, you will find yourself in more settings that are fulfilling, that are nurturing, that are giving and not taking, that are feeding you substances that are actually adding to your growth and making you more of who you are or who you deserve to be. You know, I see that for us in 2023, and I love that for us. When it's something you start to pay more attention to, you know, when you're in these particular settings, in these particular auras, in these particular energies, you start to learn what brings out the best in you, but also what brings out the worst in you. And when you learn more, or learn to accept more of what brings out the worst in you, then you find that you want to be there less. And not even the fact that you want to be there less, because there's a lot of people who have the feeling of wanting to release themselves from the shackle of a particular situation, a particular setting, a particular anything, but they don't feel like they're worthy of leaving, or they don't think they have anything on the other side of that, or they don't think they deserve anything better, you know. But once you tap into what's important to you, though, like, that's when shit gonna get real. That's when your whole world is gonna shift, like, in a way that you have never experienced before. Getting into the nitty-gritty of how this can even start to happen in your life, how you start to pay attention to certain things in your life, it's simply just paying attention. Like, when you enter certain spaces, or if you just want to fixate on a certain area of life, let's say like your love life, your relationship that you're currently in, or your situationship that you're currently in, or the people that you're messing with, like, start to just be present in that and see what you like about them, what you don't like about them, how you feel when you're with them, how you feel when you're having sex with them, the things that excite you about them, excite you about things that you do with them, you know, like friendship, that applies to friendships as well. It applies to your job as well. Like, you hate this job, but what do you hate about it? Do you hate the people? What do you hate about the people? Do you hate the setting? What do you hate about the setting? Do you hate your office? What do you hate about your office? Do you hate their values? Do you hate their inconsistency? Like, what is it do you hate about it? And then think about what you love about it. Why are you still there? If it's an internal thing, if it's the money, then see how you can, you know, like, see, if it's the money, then that goes into a whole nother probably episode that I can make. Like, tap into how you can create that for yourself. Like, if that's what's important to you, if that's the only reason why you're staying, then you have to figure out other parts of importance to you, or other parts of yourself that adds value to you, like internal value, to create external value. And if, like I said, if the money is the thing that's important to you, then how can you create that for yourself with what you already have in here? You know, if you're setting a goal for yourself, like, a lot of people set goals and never fulfill them, or never reach them, or take forever to reach them. But it's like, why is that? And then that allows you to, like, see, first of all, why you're setting a goal. What are you planning to get out of this goal? What is this goal going to create for you? What is this goal going to do for you? You know, like, tapping into all that. Like, a lot of people don't get deep enough for me, but I'm telling you, getting deep will solve a lot of the problems that we are having as people. I'm telling you, like, if you allow yourself to really pay more attention to who you are as a person, and your patterns and your behavior, your habits, and everything of that such, like, that is literally the answer to a lot of our fucking problems. But back to the goal situation, because I'm going off, but still on. If you're a person who has set a goal, let's say, like, you know, we're ending another year. You said you was going to do something by the end of 2022. It is the end of 2022. and you have still not done that, what exactly is the reason behind that? Like, what's holding you back from reaching this particular goal that you said that you was going to do but still haven't done, that you keep putting off, and you probably say you're going to do it in 2023, but what about you is stopping you from me having the same conversation with you at the end of 2023? Are you lazy? Do you want somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're lazy, then what though is what is important to you if you're lazy? Do you want to be able to pay someone to do the work for you? Then tap into that, you know? Are you just inconsistent? But if something is important to you, how can you be more inconsistent? How can you be more consistent? Or if you're like a person that says you're inconsistent, most people who are inconsistent, they're consistent to a certain extent. So figuring out what type of consistency works for you is something that could be of importance to you. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on. Introducing I felt like I was official when I started writing this, but I just be writing stuff. Like, I'm telling you, this is some good stuff. But you gotta tap into it. You gotta be willing. All right, beautiful people, I'm gonna go ahead and leave y'all with that. I hope that what I said was received in a way that can be applied. I try to make things as plain, as simple, and frank and real as possible. So I hope that what was needed to be heard today is heard by the person who needs it. Okay? I'll catch y'all next time. Stay beautiful. Love on your growing self, because you definitely deserve it.